Therefore, Biafra must be restored, for there is nothing the enemies can do about it. We have come that the will of the Most High may prevail. Radio Biafra is unorthodox. The way we do things are markedly different from how others do it. We are under divine instruction. We have come that Chukwukika may take control of these very proceedings this evening, for we are nothing without him. O Elohim, Chukwukika Biama Puremi, unto thee we repose all that we are. Do not allow your children IPOB to be put to shame. Do not allow us to be devoured by the hands of the wicked. Do not allow us, O mighty one, to fall prey to those who do not know thee. You will deliver us, not because we are righteous, but because of your mercy. Hear our cry and our supplication. We are not armed. We have not killed anyone. We have not jailed anyone. We have not done anything at all to warrant the level of destruction and carnage being visited upon your children. The same way Israel suffered, so is Biafra suffering today. And if Elohim can deliver Israel, so will you deliver Biafra. That is our hope. That is our anchor of everything that we hold dear as a race and as a people. You brought Biafra that light may come into Africa. You gave us hope because we are in a continent of hopelessness. And by thy grace, Biafra shall be restored. We shall be resurrected. We shall crown our efforts with the glory by the grace of the Most High himself. We are not strong. We do not pretend to be strong. All we do is to submit ourselves to your will, that your will may be done upon our lives. We have lost many people. We have lost so many good people. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. We shall honor them, and for their sake Biafra will come. Israel lost people, and today Israel is here as a beacon of hope in a land filled with darkness. We beseech thee, Elohim, because we are wandering all over the world, hoping against every hope that things will turn around for the better. It has never turned around for the better. Instead, it is getting worse. Please do not abandon your children. You have given us a commission, and we must accomplish it in our lifetime. We have come to honor your holy name. We have come to praise thee. We have come to honor thee, that your name may be glorified, adored, and praised forever and ever. Ise. I welcome each and every one of you, wherever you are all over the world. And I ask
Rapo Biafra gane bozo jabiri Biafra gadindu. Take my boots off when I die. Oh Biafra, to the camp. I the lawyer give my gun to someone else to fight for fatherland. Biafra take my boots off when I die. Ojukwu beze na la Biafra, edere ya na buri. Awolowo nwanne ya Yakubu Gowon. Ewe ikimeri Biafra, Biafra win the war. Amodu Kasheli machine, heavy artillery, bomb and fighter. Enye Mugowa wanting to be my boy, we know. Enye Mugowa wanting.
As lamentation or complaint, I am only trying to prepare our people for what is to come. You are being prepared for what is to come. The time has come to separate the chaff from the wheat itself. Our march is very, very near. The enemies are trembling, they are quaking, they are doing all they can to try to stop us. But they have failed very woefully. And they will continue to fail. But I want to tell you that we are getting attacks from everywhere. From everywhere all over the world. And very soon, they will buy over some of you. Some of you, they will buy some of you over. The spirit of Yasika and the Ifajuna are still in some of you. When the time comes, they will buy you over. I am not doing this program tonight to ask all of you to be strong. I am doing it to remind you, not that if they succeed in buying you over, you're not going to stop what we're doing. You can't. You cannot. Not in a trillion years. But I need you to appreciate one very simple fact. That at the end of this very race, everybody will testify that indeed Chukwukika Abiyama, the same God of Israel, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same God of Eri in Aguleri, the same God of Umeh, the same God of Ora Eri, the same God of Owe Eri, the same God of Arochukwu. Let's if you look at the true God, one true God, you will know that indeed, not only is he omnipotent, that same God is the owner of this very agitation. No human being can stop it. We have enemies, and we need to be very, very careful, both within and without. Very, very careful. The next 2 weeks will be very pivotal. Next 2 weeks will be very, very important in the life, or should I say, in this very mission that we have embarked upon. The devil will do everything. And you are going to watch spectacularly how we are going to destroy and shame the enemy.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your time zone. This is Biafra Radio, and my name still remains Mazi George Umeh. I reside here in United Kingdom as one of the principal servant and humble servant of people, the IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra worldwide, led by our supreme leader Mazi Kano. And today is another day. Today is the 5th day, if I may put it, on this sham they call trial. But the whole world is watching as we are here to make sure that the world know exactly what is transpired in that dominable zoological republic. In their own court, we will defeat them there. Because justice, whenever oppressed is happening and people keep silent, lo and behold, is going to metamorphose. Right now, everybody is feeling the heat. As long as Mazi Kano is being held, people are now arguing about the law in the land. What should have been done or wouldn't should have been done. No one talks about a man that was kidnapped and illegally brought back to Nigeria, and everybody sat on it. The youth don't care. But today, it's evolving back because that is the law of nature. This morning, we are here again, and we have our man on the ground on spot account what is going to transpire in Abuja today as the trial continues, as they call it. We are here to make sure we bring everything that is happening to the doorstep. And Biafra Radio is on. Biafra Radio is on app. That's why I put it up there. Those, especially those in Biafra land, you can download the app. It's more cheaper to you to listen to it. So yeah, and we are showing on this morning. This morning I have Mazi Biafra here with me, and our man is still to join us, here to join us. Probably we're going to be having more people joining this program this morning. And when that happens, we'll definitely let you know. But as it stands right now, we are waiting. Our itchy ears are here to see how the cross-examine is going today on the witness P2. They call it that way. So yeah, Mazi Kechuku, I'm going to bring you to just introduce yourself. Mazi, please introduce yourself. And if you can hear me, Mazi Kechuku, please.
Yeah, Mazi George, I can hear you. Good morning, Mazi George. Good morning, Biafrans. Good morning, lovers of freedom worldwide. Good morning, everywhere or anywhere you are residing. I am Mazi Ikechukwu Biafra. It's good morning from this side of the world where I am at the moment, and it's nice to be here today to look into what is happening in court and then critically analyze other issue that have just come up or that will probably come up.
Yeah, thank you, Mazi. Yeah. As we all know, I think the proceedings has kicked off already because we have shown some links. Onyendu has just arrived in court again. Just saw this picture on Facebook. Yeah. Has not much been said, but I can see he's still looking strong as ever. I don't know how God made him, but he must made him with steel. That's all I can say. A man of his, a man that had been held incommunicado for or closing to 4 years now, and still wearing one tracksuit to appear in court. That's resilient. It's very few people in the world can stand on that kind of, I mean, it's not something that is ordinarily for me personally. I take it very personally and deep. Because when people are seeing Onyendu coming to court every single day and wearing one tracksuit for the past 3 years and a half to 4 years now, what does that tell you? I just play a couple of his voice on what he said, one of his last broadcasts before he was adopted, that this couple months is going to be pivotal. So many of us, the spirit of Vasika is going to get into us, and that's exactly what is happening, Mazi. If you just look around you and see how things has been going. So I think if there's anything we're going to add, or we're going to continue to probably to play the videos of the we started that video yesterday, but probably I will start it all over again, the Avid video, as we are waiting for because basically why we are here is to correspond to what is happening live from Abuja, and our correspondent there could join us as well. Once he come down to the studio, we will let him to speak to Biafrans. Maz, if there's anything else you want to add before we start to play this video, please let me know. But as I stand there, Onyendo has just arrived in court. Onyendo is in court, so yeah, Mazi. Okay,
Mazi, thank you very much. Following and seeing Oyendo has arrived in court, and as the court have this since the commencement of this court, as we all know, the judge in charge has always been very timely to the the process of the court. So we are not expecting anything different today. So Onyendu is in court now, and then I believe the court has already started. So having said that, we all know the developing issues and that came up prior to this court sitting today. Just while we wait for our correspondents on ground zero, Mazi lawman, you've seen the developing issue that came up after yesterday court sitting and before today with Nigerian gutter media, brand develop journalism they are practicing there in Nigeria. As I've rightly said yesterday in my analysis, that the game Nigeria are playing is just distracting game of distraction, delay tactics, and distraction as well. They don't like the publicity, the court sitting, the two earlier court sitting got all over Nigeria. They don't like the publicity, how it was publicized. Most of the media house publish exactly what happened, and that is making the case to gain more ground. And they have apply every tactics they like or they would like to use to distract people and make sure that this case is not being followed as it was followed in two sitting before yesterday's own. And just as I said yesterday, and perhaps just as I also predicted, you can see them go online with different media houses reporting, giving misinformed reports on what happened in the court with very, very misinformed headlines and way of reporting things. Having said that, it is one of the things we should look out for at this crucial moment. They're trying everything possible to make sure that this case does not get the publicity, or that this case stop having the publicity it has been enjoying since it's recently started. But are we going to allow that? No, we are not going to allow that. We're going to fight them in any way legally possible that we can, and that's what we're doing. Back to the today's sitting. The court has already the court sitting already began. So we monitor what is happening, and then hopefully we hear from our man on ground as soon as possible. Thank you, Mazi.
Yeah, and well, thank you very much, Mazi Kechku. Yeah. So yeah, like I said before, we all know that today still remains the seventh day of our Lord, May 2025, and as we say, the continuity of the we don't call this trial, we call it, this is a travesty. If we might use the right word, is a travesty. Now, people are agitating, and this is the thing, our leader, the revolution, those are calling for revolution, however you want to term it on your own terms. But one thing we must know is that as Nigeria structure today, from those that own it, from the Niger company that bought it about £87,000 before the amalgamation, before the amalgamation, they're designing not to work because they know. So it does not matter what you do. The only way forward is what our leader has proposed: to dissolve that enclave, that edifice, and everybody will decide where they want to belong. Everybody will be on their own tent, or Israel. It's very, very important people understand this fact. Just Mazi Takano just joined me on the studio right now. I'm gonna bring him up on the studio. Probably has one or two things to tell us before we carry on to play the video that I promised you that we're going to play. Mazi, good morning from here, Mazi Takano.
Good morning. Mazi George. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Yeah. Please, you may just I will let you speak to Biafrans anyway. So we have reconvened this morning again, and hoping to hear what is happening over there. I know that you're in Germany and we're here in UK. So is there anything you want to tell us this morning? You want to tell Biafrans?
Yes, and thank you very much, Mazi. My name is Mazi Kano Takano. I'm the younger brother of Mazi Nnamdi Kano and as well a member of IPOB Germany. I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, according to your time zone. Yes, Mazi, what I want to say is just exactly, I will start briefly with what happened, what played out yesterday in the court, We are one selfish and a hopeless journalist called Sonny Daniels, who happens to be a regional manager of Vanguard, Nigeria, that came out, and published nonsense, that Onion do has accepted inciting violence, and instructing people to burn police stations. That's very, very untrue, because this very man we're talking about, he's somebody working for DSS. He reports for DSS. And I can categorically tell you that it was DSS that went and planted the story by giving him 1,000 or 2,000 naira. And he went and planted the news, And that is very, very unprofessional. I don't know how such a person could be a regional manager of Vanguard, to be going out there peddling false news, telling people things that are not real, knowing too well that this is an international case, They are just going planting this everywhere. And that is very, very sad. And I can use this opportunity to call on the Vanguard management to sack or suspend this Sonny Daniels. He is not worthy to be a journalist.
Okay, that's kind of weird. So because probably sometimes we don't really follow their news, but we know what these people could do. Just like when me and Mikechku was talking, the distraction they are bringing in, and a lot of things, the propaganda they are bringing. DSS himself, the government, because it's not DSS, it's the government. The sole predecessor that took over from his boss, which is Swaju and Co. But whatever they are planning, just like as you just said, rightly said, it's just not different from what they did yesterday by presenting a document that was not being served to the court, neither the prosecuting team, the defense team. So this whole thing, like you just said, Mazi, is something we are accustomed to. We're used to it, but we just have to push back on them, as you just rightly said. There's no worthy journalism as long as that country is very few people that can stand on their ground. But we all know that everybody is being bought. They are in their pockets of every politician because it's what they told them to do. And especially when the government is involved, they will go extra mile to make sure they feed their master what their requirements are. So it is not something that is strange to us. But it's really interfering with the case itself, because now when they came out, remember the press release that our special counsel pulled out about limited information from the court, but they're going out peddling things that are not true. So why should we follow what they have said? The court should actually pay attention to this, because court should question about him putting something like that to the public, because they are interfering, with the judiciary as it goes forward now. If I'm thinking that it's not the right thing to do, even to give an update that was false. It's weird though.
The thing is that not to take this thing to cut you off. The issue there is there are journalists in the courtroom, and whatever that is being discussed there is a public court. Whatever thing that is discussed there should be reported the way it is, not somebody going out to manipulate. The legal team decided to be calm, to focus on their job, but you find out that they still go out, DSS still go out and plant little news that doesn't make sense. Why the real thing they don't talk about? Well, because when they fell in the argument, they will revert into something else. How can somebody be talking about that inciting people where? Burning houses. Where are the houses being burned? Our houses are being burned in Southeast, in Biafra land, by the same Nigerian soldiers. The same Nigerian soldiers, they are using what I would call Boko Haram style. Anywhere Boko Haram invade in the northern part of Nigeria, what do? They set the properties ablaze. That is the same thing they are replicating in Southeast, meaning that they are the ones doing all these things. What we have in Southeast, or the people who have there, we call soldiers, these are all terrorists. They're only looking for a slight opportunity to burn properties. And you can see it everywhere. Even on the videos I posted, they are the ones burning people's businesses. That is what it is. And excluding the main key issues that was discussed in the court, you can't tell me that you are bringing in a witness, to come and testify, but he has no clue of what has happened. Even the critical details, this person has no clue. You are coming talking about burning properties. And one thing I have to make clear here is this. Don't forget, in the filing, when the government filed the 15-count charges against Mazi and Kanu, and this very one we were mentioning yesterday, this was struck off from the case. And even the person talking did not know. So he's just talking like somebody that was supposed to come and speak. That is what I find very, very ridiculous, where people are and the way they go about things, But the Sonny Daniels, anyway, I think it's hunger that is worrying him. That is why he's talking from both sides of his mouth.
Yeah, the fact is that they will not change. Mazi, if you recall, that nothing has changed. The method they have applied from 2015 to today is the same method. That is why it took them 10 years to brought Onyendu's personal belongings they confiscated in the Tropo Hotel in Lagos, as evidence. And there was no bomb or anything they found in our leader that is contradictive. Equipment on broadcasting, just like we are broadcast coming out from the studio here. So, excuse me. There's nothing they have to offer. And they don't have shame. That's the one thing. They don't have shame. Because they knew what they were going to get. They knew they actually knew what is coming and what they're going to get in this particular so-called trial. Because I don't call it trial, I call it travesty. So, and if you look around you today, just like you just said about the journalist that just came out and peddling lies, things that happen in open court is an open court, and that's the more reason why we must strategize not to allow them to determine what we say or not. Because if they're peddling lies or things that happen in court, that means we need to put things to bear. The update should actually be more substantive every time the court ends, so that nobody could come out to say things contrary to it. Because if it's coming from those that are in charge, not full details, but things that has been said in the court. Just like what you're saying now, even I wasn't aware of this because I don't pay attention to the news. So, but within that zoo, those that will, consume that rot, because that is what they fed them all the time, So, but like I said, we are here to make sure we encounter them in any shape or form, how they try to peddle lies that is not being found anywhere, So, the issue of Onyendu be inciting violence. I don't know when that happened. It was in Nigerian youth, just like what they are doing now. But all these things is what our leader have told them, and what he proposed to Nigeria as a general. Because Onyendu wasn't fighting for only Biafrans; he's fighting for everybody. That is why he said, "Let us decide by having a referendum. If Biafrans have a referendum, maybe the Midwest want to have referendum." Maybe the Oduduwas want to have referendum. They decide where they want to belong. The Ariwas want to have referendum. It's entirely up to them. But we will start it just like we did in UK here. United Kingdom that created Nigeria voted out voluntarily from the EU. After almost close to 40 years, they joined that union. Now we own union. They never consulted us if we want to have a union with these individuals. After 100 years amalgamation, they agree that we can go back to basics. They don't allow since 1940, 2014. That's 100 years elapses, and we're still on that same journey. So people must understand. So that's why when I see some of all these youths, all these Jay-Z youths, they call them, right? Because it cannot fight in a faulty foundation. It might be doing something good. Onyendu, like I said yesterday, our leader have fought here. When the Boko Haram started, there was a protest that mounted in UK here. He was involved in it. But at the end of the day, he found out that there is nothing you can do in a faulty foundation. So themselves now, everybody's getting the heat now. They quoted us some videos. I don't want to do I'm not going to be playing it here. Let them be fighting that fight. They will come and analyze it for them because these things we have gone through before. Our leader is in prison for almost 4 years now. They hold him under captive. Now, how now do you think that your voice is going to resonate in the same system when you guys knew that this is against humanity? None of you stand up to say this is wrong. Now, how do you think that it's not going to come to your own doorstep? Doesn't matter how genuine you are, it will come to you.
You see that the funny thing there is, if the system is not so corrupt and useless, tell me why the belongings of Onyendu is detained almost 10 years, in DSS. Yeah. At the DSS, office has been detained. And you ask yourself, what is this all about? That tells you that these people there, they don't have brain, they don't reason. Now, if you check yesterday what happened in the House of Reps, when all of them were crying because of, they said, the killings of hunters in Edo State, 16 hunters, and, the killings of people, in Gombe, church worshippers that the truck ran through. You'll be asking yourself, what is actually happening? Is it now that they know exactly what is happening in Nigeria? And that is why they are still telling us what to do. You see them, they talk about ESN. ESN is only a vigilante group. Just like they have Amotekun in Yoruba land. Yeah. The same way they have their Hizban in the north and all sorts of things. So nobody's stopping them. So what they want us to do, they came to Southeast, they took the guns of our people away from them and left them empty-handed. And they want us to disband our own vigilante group so that they will come back. They will get back to our land and just, capture us one after the other. I mean, it's not possible. That is not going to happen today. That is why, relatively, Southeast is a lot more peaceful. Also, the places like Enugu State and Ebonyi State, where they have embraced the Fulanis. Mba is not doing anything as the governor of Enugu State. He's watching Enugu people being slaughtered. The same thing is happening in Ebonyi State. You will see in Abakaleke, you see cattle run all over in the capital city. And they're not saying anything. That tells you how bad it is. And like you rightly said, you made mention about the Gen Zs. They should know it's not all about content creation. It's not all about going naked there, in Instagram and all whatnot. This is time they have to think. This is time they have to, implement certain things, that could better their life than going naked every day in the television. Because this thing can only last for a while. If you do it today, do it tomorrow, do it next tomorrow, at a time you can't do it again. This is where they have to come in and join this crusade and know that it's all about their own future. Your future can't be dancing naked in Facebook or Instagram. No, that is nothing. And you think that you are being paid maybe $100 or $200, you think that's the end of it. No. Even if you are doing content creation, try to do something that will benefit others, that will make that country move forward. Because apparently now, what they are doing is that they don't want to see anybody to raise up and say something. If you say something, they'll come after you. And which people are doing these things? Which people are doing these things? This is an old generation, they are gone already. They are gone already, they can't bring anything on the table again. But They still want to rule, not only ruling because they want to steal. There is no policies they've made that works. None whatsoever. That is why it's very sad that they are using these old people, to impose them on us so that the colonialists will keep sucking our blood out of us.
Mazi, if you can hear me, Mazi, if you can hear me, please go ahead.
Yeah, Mazi, I don't know what's wrong. I was trying to come in since. I don't know if
No. I've just told you. It wasn't studio, but because Mazi can't back. So, but then we already done. I was going to play the video. That was what happened. Go on, please.
Yeah. All right. The issue about the media, the misinformation and false publication is not something to be taken lightly. It's not something we will say, we are used to them. No, this is a coordinated attack. Remember in the last court case yesterday court sitting, during and after the court sitting, I did mention it that they were coming. The last two court cases before now, just as I said earlier, the last two court cases before now had a wide publication, especially among the youth, more than what they expected. And I can tell you, for over 2 years or more than this last two, the previous two court cases before yesterday on was more publicized. It was the first time in 2 years or more than that the Mazzi case has been much more publicized in Nigerian media space, especially among the youth. I've been following them. I know their plan and I know where they are going to. If you go to other networks and apps, social media networks, be it Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, and other places, it is widely publicized. And the reaction it was getting was not favorable to the Nigerian federal government. I can categorically tell you that. And do you know one thing about the reaction and the engagement about Mazzi case, the last two court cases before yesterday's one, was that it was not only coming from the Igbos or the Biafrans. It is even coming from both the Southwest, youth from the Southwest and youth from the North, especially the Hausa youth and the Yoruba youth, and youth from the South as well. South geopolitical zone, as they have put it in Nigeria. Youth from there as well. So it is widely circulated, widely engaged by youth of different group, different age group, and different tribe, different religion and everything. Because, and all what they are saying is that for 10 years and more than they have been holding this man. This is what these people could come up on. That this man has not done anything. They thought this man is a criminal, is a terrorist. So why not free him? That wasn't favorable to Nigerian federal government, especially to the DSS. He painted them black. So they have tried everything. They have done their assignment before the court case. And I mentioned yesterday that the two arrests that was made, especially in Nigeria, people that the youth are following, were targeted towards Mazi Kano's case. That is why even those two arrests, especially the last one they made, the guy I don't want to call his name, the last one they made, up to now, they have not stated the reason why they arrested him. And I can categorically tell you, after Mazi Kano court case, this for today until tomorrow, if it ends tomorrow, they're going to release him or probably charge the guy to court with easy bail, with easy bail. So that thing was done towards this case, so that Nigerian youth will be distracted. They won't talk about this, and they'll follow up with the media, the print media, and then the visual media as well, coming up with this kind of publication, with this kind of misinformed headlines and everything. It's all geared towards that. This also engineered what they did outside courtroom yesterday to create distraction among the lawyers. So it is the plan which they are doing now, and this is not what we should allow them to do, because this case is beginning to generate that energy, that engagement that has not generated for a while, especially among non-Biafrans, and we shouldn't allow it to happen. They should be taken serious, this misinformation and misinformed headline should be taken serious in every way we could take it. We could take it up with them legally. So that is it for them. That is what their plan, and that is their aim of putting that thing up. And I can tell you, the Vanguard man that did this is just, if we take it lightly with them, that's just a starting point. Others are still going to come up, especially today. Others are still going to come up with a very, very misleading headline, just to the Nigerian population and the crowd and the youth. I can say they are not people that read meaning into news. They don't even read most of this news. They prefer what they hear and then the headlines, and then stories start flying around. They are very, very easily, sorry to say, they are very, very easily manipulated. And if you don't do anything about it, serious, this thing is going to continue, and it's going to cause a negative public image out there. That is what they're trying to do. Well, I commend our lawyers, the team of the legal team, as they've made a decision. They are not going to brief. They're not going to do press briefing after the court case. They're not going to do deep press briefing after the court case. Now they'll just say one or two things that is not too deep concerning the case. So that will make them that will make the infiltrators not to see any loopholes or see any news that they can manipulate to feed out to the general public there. So that's my take on that, Mazi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mazi. It was a very good one there. Like you rightly said, our people will enjoy distraction so much. And this is something we have to pay attention to. If you watch, whenever there is a serious case going on against the Nigerian government, they will go and plant one useless news. And our people are too funny. They will leave the main issue and start gossiping. That's exactly what they are doing. That's exactly what happened yesterday. And that was what happened the day before yesterday. You remember when a case was going on, one other idiot's case was brought up. Everybody focused there and left what they were supposed to talk about. We should learn. We should learn as people to be serious, to know exactly what we want. If you are moving straight, keep moving straight. You don't need to be distracted by what you see by the roadside, by the left side or the right side. You just have to keep moving, until you get to where you're going to. But they easily do this, and it's very, very unfortunate that our people will always fall for such a thing.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, the metaphor has remained the same. Nothing changes, because go back, even if we want to go back based on their destructive, mechanism they use against the gullibility of the so-called youth and Nigeria as an enclave. Now, especially our own people, the Biafrans and Igbo-speaking Biafrans, because if we go back on destructive, plot these people have used against our people, and our people will not learn. But do you know why it's good? Me and Ikechukwu talked about it yesterday. It's good that all these things happen. I think after our program, we'll have some private conversation. Let's go back. Let's reverse it back now to, is it 2020? When was it? Aswaju was become president? I think 2 years ago, right? Is it 2023? 2023 election, right? That was, Onyendu was kidnapped 2021. 22, 23 election was coming on. What did they do? They knew that our people may not participate in that election. What did they do? They brought Peter Obi. Peter Obi, they come from PDP and joined Labour Party, right? Claiming that now is a different body. Now the whole youth, our people, some people calling on phone saying, "No, let's support this man. When he win, he's going to be the one to do X, Y, Z." We told them at the couple program to explain that this man is not for you. What happened at the end of the day? The election, he lost the election. When he lost that election, did he fight for that election that he lost? That he rigged? He didn't. He went back. He said he's not thirsty to rule Nigeria. Meaning that he's premeditated, he knew what he was doing. It's about destruction. And they carry on doing the same thing. And our people are still buying it. But you know what? Let them exhaust every mechanism and every metaphor they have, because they're not going to get anywhere. They're going to get tired, and we are not going anywhere. The most important thing is that our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is not in a, he said he's been there 4 years, so for another 4 years, he's not bothered. So he's not in haste. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years. We're not saying our leader should spend 27 years in prison. But let me remind you again, because sometimes we forget about Onyendu's words. Onyendu said that this particular struggle is going to take us 20 years. I remember one of his broadcasts, if you go back on it. 10 years, how a decade has passed, and it's a rocky one, and we're still counting. So it's not something that is going to knock on the door, then people will just give you freedom. It's not easy. Because what we are trying to do is to reconstruct that particular boundaries of the colonial masters is more deeper, and Britain will not let it happen. Just like what happened in Burkina Faso today, the France is getting its own heat. That is not easy. But somebody started all this movement. You know, Mazi. So they will never learn. But like I said, now the senses, they have to buy it. It's there for them to people, because I mean, some of them will speak and tomorrow they arrest them. But what are we going to say? Do they learn anything from it? And they protest. And when they protest, because they know their limitation, the system already understood what they could do them, everybody will fall back on that shell again. And they have been applying this and it's working for them until people stand and say no. They had opportunity on NSAS. What did they do? They ruined it. Because on seriousness, they went there playing music and partying and drinking. At the end of the day, the hoodlums join them, they start rooting. What do they do? Then they get involved and start shooting them because they know they don't have arms. That is why they don't allow people to bear arms, personal arms. Americans' First Amendment is that you're allowed to bear arms as long as you don't have any criminal record. That is why police have limitation to come to people and start and shoot people randomly, because you cannot do that. You can't do that. But they know. Like you said, Mazi Takano, they took away our then guns to protect ourselves from the so-called Fulani herdsmen, which are terrorists in disguise. Boko Haram, they're reinstated in armies. Now, what they want is to come back to us. They were cutting they were chopping up our people's necks in their farms. Nobody did anything. The governors did nothing until IPOB stepped up to protect our land. And the world knew that how ESN was born is necessity, because those that were in hem of affair could not do anything. Our people was helpless. Every day people go to the farm, they won't come back. Remember the one that happened in Ihera? They chopped up that lady. They couldn't find her parts. These are things we have gone through. Some people have forgotten. We don't. Because we know exactly why we are here. So the propaganda... Yeah, go on, Mazi, go on.
And if you find out now, their major concern is about Biafra and ESN. I don't want to talk about this here. I remember one of the numerous meetings I went in the United Kingdom, 2001. It was the issue. I was the one that praised the government and said, can you tell me why everybody's conscious of ESN? Why are they not talking about the Fulani headers who are the real terrorists terrorizing everybody? Then the woman turned back and asked their colleagues, what has happened? Why are you people leaving the headers? They are the ones killing us. And they were advised by the same British government, BBC, to use the word clash, that adjective clash, to qualify anything that is happening. No matter whatever that happens, they said there was a clash. I've been to many meetings there. They said there was a clash. A clash, we are the ones losing. The people who are claiming that there was a clash, nobody's dying from the Fulani side. It's only our own parents that are dying, brothers and sisters dying. And nobody is dying there. I insisted and said that something must be done. They pressured late Buhari to say, why is it that headers has not been proscribed? They went and advised him. He went back and said that bandits are the headers. No, he said that the bandits are the terrorists. Then who is a bandit and who is a terrorist? And up to today, people in the House of Representatives feel so free to talk about it yesterday that 16 people, Fulanis, were killed in Edo State. Said, in fact, they used the word that the hunters, the Fulani hunters who were killed in Edo State. What are the Fulanis doing with their gun all the way from Sahel or from the northern part of Nigeria and walked to Edo State?
And have their gun with
While
them.
our own people cannot even walk around with cutlass or they're even then gun. And they're supporting them. I mean, they can't keep fooling us. We are not stupid. We are not stupid and nobody's stupid. They can play that stupid game, but not anymore. People are wise. Somebody's carrying a gun, is coming to hunt. What is he coming to hunt in our own villages? How many kilometers is he driving till he gets to Edo State? Or till he gets to other states, to Port Harcourt, to River State? How many kilometers is this person driving? I mean, they can only tell a blind man there is no oil in the port and not salt.
And funnily, their guns were with them. How do they manage to bring the guns with them? It is quite amazing, you know. So yeah, it's a quite amazing, Mazi. Yeah, I think we are still itchy to see what is happening down in our correspondent Mazi Lawman is still down there. So I don't know if there's anything, or maybe we'll stand by and play some avid video and wait for whatever they're going to come up with so that we can update our people. It's wonderful that I have you guys with me here in studio this morning. And fellow comrades and lovers of freedom, this is still Biafra Radio. Like I said before, download our app. We have app of Biafra Radio, and it's very, very, it's more cheaper, especially those in Biafra land, to listen to what we are saying here. And the rest of the world is very handy. It's always 24 hours on. When you do is past broadcast is being broadcast there at all times. So you might as well just download it. It costs nothing to download. As in the App Store, Google App Store. I think we haven't got it to Apple yet. So yeah. Mazi, is there any other thing you want to add, or should we just stand by and wait for the main update from Abuja?
Mazi, we just have to continue. As we wait for him, we just have to continue updating our people and analyzing what is happening, and then informing our people rightfully, letting them know what is happening, and so that for them to be aware of the environment and then how things is going. I know this case has been lingering for 10 years of this recent kidnap of Mazi Namekano. It's almost 4 years now.
Okay, Mazi Lawman is here now. Mazi Lawman, just get in. Mazi Lawman, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mazi. A very good morning from here.
Good morning from here. Welcome to the studio.
All right. Good morning from Abuja, your friends, lovers of freedom, and conscientious people. Today is the 7th day of May 2025, and today is slated for the resumption of trial, the consecutive dates which have been given before now, spanning from yesterday 6th, today 7th, and 8th, which is these dates are supposedly in the final lap of Mazi Namekano's case under the presiding justice or Motosho. Today, as we all know, the court had ordered that the prosecution should file necessary documents, whether video, audio, or whatever, procedurally, whatever document that would be used as exhibits or evidence. And yesterday, that made court's proceedings yesterday to be dismissed earlier than usual. So the process has done the needful. The prosecution has also filed necessary documents, and today the said document had been before now distributed and labeled exhibit. And also, I just want to let us know that adding to the said letter from the former Attorney General, there was an audio clip in the name of video evidence / exhibit, which was played in court. The said clip is a broadcast of Onyendu where he made some utterances, some transmitted messages, which included the yearn for referendum, which included how our people, how our land, Biafra land, is being desolated by Fulani headsmen, which includes how the people of Biafra needs, a sort of community police, which also includes the, pronouncement of Eastern Security Network. He also said in the said video evidence, which was being played in court, and is still playing intermittently, every minute or second it would be played so and so. That ESN, which he said during the broadcast, will not be an armed militia, but a sort of, protectors to the people of Biafra, people going to farms, mothers, something like that. So as well, as I said, intermittent plays is being recorded and questions being followed up. The prosecution witness number 2, which goes by the name Mr. BBB, was asked in several cases or times, intermittent times, whether or not Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had in any time during the said broadcast or in the written statement acknowledged ESN as an armed group or militia, so to speak. So the answer has always been, in the negative. So that is what has happened or is happening so far. And very soon, I think they might want to also call upon the third witness, but we are still on the second witness. And as we all know, as you may know, the said PW2BBB, like the other, was shielded, from public view. They said it's to protect the security of the personality of the witnesses. So that is it so far, Mazi. Thank you very much for having me. Is there any question from the desk?
Not really. The update is succinctly put, but the fact remains. What I don't understand is that why are they shielding this individual? Because to be fair, they are DSS. Yeah. So what are they scared of? And remember, we have already campaigned against secret trial because this is no different from secret trial. Though they said Onyendu will see whoever that is the Onyendu can see them, but other people in the court wouldn't see. Is that what it is? That only Onyendu can see their faces, right? And they should be shielded to the court. So I don't understand how that works. Because it's very important.
Before this time, it was.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, before this time, it was argued, so to speak, whether or not it did show a sort of fair trial. But according to a law of a criminal code that they cited, it's for the security of the said witness, And they also said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would be, permitted as court or as law demands to seeing the said PW, whatever code name they put in there. But one shocking thing is evident. Whomsoever that is there, or let me just say, they said PW2 who was there yesterday, when asked whether or not he knows or he knew or he had known Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and vice versa. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he said in his words that he never knew him. Up until now, he never knows him, So that's to tell you that they recruit a sort of people, perhaps train them, and they go for rehearsal, to spew whatever thing they were handed to. It's just like during those days where people would be, put together, congregated for drama and play. They would give you scripts, of course, to rehearse and to line by line recite them on stage. I think that is what is playing here, So let us see how it goes. We are here,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that, Mazi Lawman. As we hold on in the studio, waiting for the or probably we're gonna have a cross section today. Is it that possible? Maybe we'll still got from you. Maz Kantakan is here with me and Ikechu. Thank you, Mazi, for your tenacity, because I know how hard work is it for you to still be there. Yeah, we appreciate all that effort. All of us is a collective effort. Thank you, Maz. And there were. Mazi, we have heard what Mazi Lawman said, and I think is there anything anybody want to add? Because yeah.
Of course, there are things that need to be said. Like I can pick exactly what he said now about bringing the second witness that doesn't know MNK. He hasn't seen him before, but he's trained to come and testify against him. That tells you how horrible the country is. You don't know somebody, coach the person, come and speak. And one question is, when he's been cross-examined, you find out that he can't even place his name again. That is very, very funny, Like he said, he made mention about ESN. I tell you one thing, the greatest problem of our people, of the Fulanis, I would say the Fulanis, is our vigilante ESN. That is the greatest concern. Because they know with the ESN that they can't have their way inside our forest. That is one thing, and that is why you see them talking about, they are coming up with a sort of odd manner of allegations. But don't forget, when they made mention that ESN was armed, this started with the British radio BBC 4. I'll tell you exactly, on 7th of October 2021. 7th of August 2021. They were the first people that went and announced that ESN has an armed group called, that Biafrans have an armed group called ESN. They were the first people that said it. I have the record here. I have it in there. I have the audio. They were the first people that said it, making ways for the Nigerian army to attack us. Even while they were doing this, there was a British warship in the Bight of Biafra waiting to attack with Nigerian soldiers. They said that they were doing joint training exercise. We know all these things. So they can't be fooling us. This is just an idea of the British. More especially from this woman, Catriona Line, that was the last, the former British High Commissioner in Nigeria. That was her own idea. She was the one behind all these things, even the planning of all these things. She knew about it. Now they are talking about Abubakar Malami Abubakar with what he did. This is a criminal. He's a criminal. How much money did he steal from the Nigerian government? It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that we had idiots, to be in charge of, the judiciary, Attorney General of the Federation. These are the people that went to loot. They looted the treasure in the name of Buhari. Even though they themselves, they knew there was nothing like Buhari, they knew very, very well. And that is why Nigeria is suffering today. And that is why Nigeria will continue to suffer. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they do. Because they know that there is nothing like this man. And that was the man, they committed atrocities in his name for 6 years. They committed atrocities in the name of late Buhari. And everybody's looking around telling us, they are talking as if they are speaking to children. They are doing as if they are talking to children. That is the worst of it all. We can't be fooled. It's Britain that started this propaganda. BBC Radio 4, the broadcast of 7th of August 2021. They were the one that accused Biafra of having an armed group called ESN. I have it on record. So they shouldn't go that way. They don't have to fool us because we know exactly what is happening. Thank you, Mazi.
Mazi Kechuku, go on, please.
Yeah, Mazi, I was able to listen to about 65 to 7 minutes of what Mazi Lawson was saying, because I had to switch my device to what is happening in court to try to get some information about on what is currently happening in the court. But from what I could deduct from what he said concerning the second witness that has been called, who obviously doesn't seem to know what he was there to do, or who is not supposed to be there in the first place. And then them currently now playing some broadcasts of Onyendu that he made a few years ago concerning securing our land and then and defending our land. With this second witness, let me go straight to the issue of the second witness. With this second witness who is testifying testifying now, and the issue which they brought, one will, let's pretend as if we are if you pretend that if you are in the side of the federal government, one will by now expect them to bring tangible evidence and witness who can stand and say, yes, face to face, I know this man, he asked me to do this so time, I did this for him, I committed this atrocity for him, or this or this. But what they are bringing up happens to be what is there in the public that he himself has never denied saying, and with reasons for it. If you go on prolonging a case like this and remaining adamant that you have evidence to persecute someone like this, like Mazi Namekano, you also have something tangible, something to say, yes, this man, I had a meeting with him so time, he asked me to do this, this is what he gave me, this is where what the item he gave me is, this is what we use, this is what I've not used, so something that will be way enough to put a terrorism charges on someone. If it goes by what he broadcasted on air, what is there for the world to see, which he broadcasted on air? And then this thing he broadcasted, he did not broadcast it from nowhere. He is standing he is probably in a recognized country, more civilized than Nigeria, where the rule of law is. He was broadcasting from there. The government of where he was broadcasting, whatever he was broadcasting for, where he was there. The radio which he is broadcasting through is a registered entity or corporation there in the country where he was broadcasting from. The radio as an as a corporation pays tax, is not hidden. His movement is known and being monitored, obviously so. And then whatever he says there on the air, and the country where he's saying that they are more advanced, technically advanced, they're advanced in the judiciary, they're advanced in anything, and they don't take nonsense. They have things set up for terrorism, to checkmate terrorism, different things that is set up, different plans that have been set up, systems that have been set up to checkmate terrorism, and couldn't find anything that he said that he said or was saying as they couldn't classify it as a hate speech, or they couldn't classify him as a terrorist or engaging in terrorism activity. They couldn't arrest him and by any way extradite him accordingly. So if that is what you are bringing in, you in Nigeria you are bringing in now. I mean, these things like this have been said before, even in previous cases before now, years before now, where they ask, where was the thing said, or which ground was it broadcasted? Did you have jurisdiction over on where it was broadcasted? Do you have such jurisdiction? This has been said in courts, even before we've now come to the context of what is said, if it's actually insightful or not. So if that thing was insightful, if it was a terrorist, it was a hate speech, it's his speech. If it was a terrorist activities, why was the country where he was broadcasting from not have arrested him, try him, or try to extradite him? No single arrest have been made on him. No warning, no ban, no nothing. No single petition has been put on him and upheld. In a country that is more civilized than Nigeria, that doesn't take terrorism act as any terrorism activity as they don't take it lightly with any terrorism activities. I'm trying to remember, they have a system which they checkmate terrorism and radicalization here. We are all into this. Even you working in United Kingdom, in most cases, you have to go through all those training of radicalization, terrorism, how to point it out, how to report it, and everything. I'm trying to remember the name. When I remember, I will mention it. None of them has been reported. None of them could find him, say, oh, what he was engaging is terrorist activities. So if that's something as that is what Nigeria is bringing out now, for someone to come and testify that this is what he did, this is what he said online, the case is just as useless as not should have even come up at all, because they are making mess. They can just making mess of themselves. So if he's engaged in terrorism, are you now saying, okay, UK, United Kingdom, or United States, or whatever it might be, making that broadcast, are you now saying they colluded with him and allow him? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That means you are trying to say that they allow him engage in terrorism from their own land, which is against that country, what they stand for in regards to terrorism. So you're not telling them that they gave this man chance to terrorize this Nigeria from their country. That means they are part of it actively, or either by active participation or otherwise. They are part of it. So it all doesn't make sense to people who are supporting DSS or Nigeria and on this. I think they will be very, very disappointed if this is the two witness they brought in, and this is what they could bring in. And I've said it when the first witness came in and said what he said. I say, if this is what these people are bringing in, even from 2010, this case is as good as dead, because in a game like this, where Nigeria, they like flexing muscle, they like making headlines, you try to play your first strong card, at least to make good impression. You play your first strong card for the thing to go viral, for people to now for people to now see that you have something to offer. Then as time goes on, you now play other cards. For if you have started weekly, that means you don't have any other thing. For this second time now, I was hoping that maybe they started weekly, but they have a surprise for us. Now this second witness, now this is what they bring now. I'm beginning to laugh at the whole thing, because this is just as useless. This case is just as useless as it shouldn't have even come up at all. I'll leave it for. I'll just reserve my comment for now. Mazi, you can take over.
I want to add something here from what Mazi Ketku said here. Okay. He made mention about the jurisdiction, of where this broadcast took place. This was in England, and do not forget, Radio Biafra is an internet radio, online radio. Did any person force them to listen to what Mazi Nnamdi is saying? The answer is no, nobody forced them. It's just like when you have Facebook, you said you are tired of seeing all this nudity and all whatnot in Facebook. You said you don't need it. What do? You just delete the app from your phone, that you don't need to see what is happening in Facebook. But in this case, it's the other way around. They are trying to say things they don't know. Because one thing they forgot is, you see them talking both ways. They never said that Mazi Nnamdi was teaching Biafrans in Radio Biafra, teaching them history, teaching them what they need to know about themselves, whom they are, and where they're coming from. And that is the thing that is worrying them. They think, oh, Mazi Nnamdi has opened the eyes of Biafrans once again, like they are doing in the northern part of Nigeria, blocking them. They refuse to send the Alamajiris to school. It's not as if that most of them are not clever enough to go to school, but they just subjugated them, put them in that very position that they cannot move around, that they don't even know whom they are, that they can't think about themselves. All they are thinking about is waking up in the morning, going to Al-Hadi's place to beg for food. They will give them breakfast. They will give them lunch. They will give them dinner. And when there is problem in the north, they will send them out to go and kill. other indigenous people living there. So this is basically what it is. And for that very reason, you will see that they don't have anything to offer. If you think that Britain did not do it well, now it's Nigeria that is doing it well. Haven't forgotten, these were the same people that went and kidnapped Onyendu. These were the same people who refused to obey the court orders. These are the same people. So what are they going to tell us now? What they did not do when they were in power, and everybody could see how corrupt they were, all of them from A to Z. Is it now they're going to tell us what we are going to do? The answer is no. They have nothing to show. They are just playing around because they think that only thing they have now is prescription. We have to prescribe. But there's one thing they have forgotten about that case. But that one, I'm not going to say it here. It's going to be for another day. Then they will hear it and then they'll be shocked. I won't say it as it is now, but they should know they don't have any chance with the stupid, frivolous things they are coming up with. If it's somewhere in UK, somebody like Abubakar, Malami would have been in prison. All of them who were part of this, Garba Shehu, all of them would have been in prison today. But in Nigeria is a place where everything goes. Rogues are being celebrated. And gentlemen are being sentenced to prison. Honest men are sent to prison while rogues are being celebrated in Nigeria. Very laughable. Very laughable. And Britain can tell me that they are defending such people because of what they are getting from us, what they are taking from Nigeria. That is why they are defending them. But they are here, they are in UK talking about human rights. Human rights doesn't apply in Nigeria. When it comes to a British Biafran citizen, it doesn't apply anymore because of what they are getting from Nigeria. We can't allow this to continue. There will always be a change, and that change is now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you. Everybody has spoken well. Like I will just add my voice and as we patiently wait, because what they're doing, they're just playing Onyendu's broadcast, like he said. Onyendu past broadcast is educative. That's where all of us become IPOB member. If they want to ask us about Onyendu, they should ask people like us, what would we learn? Our history that our parents never told us what actually transpires. Nobody was bold enough to speak freely about what transpired during the Biafran War. And before then, the massacres that has happened, the pogroms that has happened, that led to that war. Now, the war, Babangida have come out and said that the coup they're talking about, that it was Igbo coup that made them to slaughter us in 67 to 70 was not Igbo coup. All of them are confessing because some of them are in their dying bed. They knew that they wouldn't go well if they die on that path. Someone like Gowon that coming to talk about unity, he know what he did. These are stooges that they used in the past. So this is how the history lesson we learn. A student of Radio Biafra is more, advanced than even professor in Nigeria because they don't know their history. The history was not taught there. That is the gift Mazzi can give to us. So we can boldly tell you that we learn what we are standing here today talking. It was that teaching. There's nothing wrong with it. And we continue to listen, to follow that path because that is only one thing we know. So Mazi, regardless the shenanigans and things they're doing, we already know that Nigeria was not, built to produce anything good. Britain didn't build Nigeria. They knew that Nigeria is a faulty foundation because of amalgamation. We bring three divergent individuals with a different cultural background and moral, which Onyendu won them. And what is happening in UK right now is absurd. You know what I mean? So, that's a story for another day. But that particular way they want us to live, they don't want to have it here, and they're trying to implement it here is going to be a problem because they have one central law in this country. There's no Sharia law. There's no part of this UK that you will do something they will judge you with Sharia law. Like he said, is this ISPO they have in the north? Our people that sell drink, but they still They still take taxes for those doing this. Actually, they take taxes from those things they say they don't want, but at the end of the day, they still destroy it after they have collected taxes for the same drink, because that's the revenue they get revenue from it. So this is a general issue, and but we already have made a decision, and that's the path we are in. So it doesn't matter what they do, we are not going to be deterred. We're standing solidarity with our leader. We know why we are doing what we are doing, and at the end of the day, they want to get justice from them, and we're not begging them to give us justice, but let them continue to make mockery of themselves. The more they speak, the more the world see them. Because, I mean, as a new chef in town, things are not going to go their way, because the man they're holding is not just an ordinary man. That's why I'm saying you have to have that man, your head has to be anointed to be in that position of our leader. It is not ordinary. People like him don't come easily. Mazi,
There's something that is coming up now, just like as if you knew. Say that from the breaking news there that they are playing the video of broadcast of NSAS protest, like you rightly mentioned.
Yeah.
Now we can see exactly what it is.
Yeah.
People don't even know what NSAS is. It's the youth that decided to demonstrate because of the NSAS. Why? Because they were harvesting the organs of the Nigerian youth.
Yeah.
Igbo youth organs are being harvested. They said, no, enough of this NSAS, which is still happening to you today. Which people trained these people from NSAS were the British authorities that trained these people. And these people went out and said, no, enough of these killings. They will adopt somebody today, the next day, don't see the person. Even if you find the person, the organs are gone. There must be somebody responsible for this. And this is being done by police. People came out and said, we want to end this very thing. What did they do? They were the same people. They went and massacred them at Lekki toll gate.
Yeah.
They were happy shooting, killing. Up to today, what happened? Even in Lagos, what happened? Did any person say anything till today? That was how the panel of inquiry just failed and died just like that, a natural death. And that's what they are talking about. Is it not shameful? Is it not shameful?
Very shameful.
Is anybody's life more important than the other? The answer is no. It's no. That tells you what you need to know. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about NSAS. They were the ones that planted the hoodlums to start lifting, stealing. They now came in and started shooting them. You saw the videos in Abuja. You saw the photograph in Abuja. They even sent hoodlums and gave them the special rifle from DSS are using. They have it themselves, shooting innocent people. That is how bad it is. That is very, very, very bad how bad it is. In Nigeria, when people say the truth, they say, let's kill the person. And everybody's sitting down watching. All of them are crying today because of what is happening in Nigeria. The headers, they don't want to know whom you are. Whether you are the president, if you go on the road, when they catch you, they kill you. If you are the state governor, when you go on the road, when they catch you, you have to pay ransom. And that is how it is. And when somebody hits their mouth to speak, everybody's shouting. That is very, very mad.
Mazi, just like as you rightly mentioned, the latest development now, it is now dancing towards how most Nigerian anything that happens in Nigeria, any issue that happens in Nigeria, especially if it's have to do with liberating people, revolution, human rights, equality, and all that, and how it's the case always die. The format, the age-long format that they'll be using to quench the case in favor of the federal government to the detriment of the people, the youth, and permit me to say here, the gullible youth in particular. You know, I was saying before, like, if you come, when you talk about the broadcast was broadcasted in the United Kingdom, and in United Kingdom, they have a strategy, a working strategy called contest. So contest in UK is a strategy for countering terrorism aiming and also aiming to reduce the risk of terrorism in the United Kingdom and and its interests oversee. Underline that, and even in United Kingdom and its interests oversee. Under this context, they have prevent, pursue, protect, and prepare. That is the key principle of contest. Under prevent is about focusing on stopping the individual from becoming terrorist or supporting terrorism. Pursue is involving investigating the person, disrupting terrorism attacks both in UK and overseas. Protect is aimed at strengthening security measures, measures to protect against terrorism attack. While prepare is focused on minimizing the impact of terrorism attack. This strategy is very, very strong. That even for you to work in most places in UK, health sector, anything, you have to know them. You have to go for the test, and it is even annually, yearly. You have to go for the training. You have to go for you have to pass it to us to know this. So everybody's involved. Even in UK, even when you enter ordinary training, they will tell you about terrorism. They will say, if you see it, say it. They say, see it, say it, and then what's the third one?
Do it.
And do it. So even a kid that is born in UK, he or she is very, very much aware on what he could see, that it could be he or she can be suspecting that this doesn't look right, this might be terrorism, and they know the number to call. So Mazi can live most part of his time here in the United Kingdom, did most of the broadcasts there here in United Kingdom, and even the one they are talking about here. And this organization like this strategy like this, that are equipped with well-intelligent people in security, in all walks of life, they are there. They couldn't find anything wrong in him. They couldn't find anything wrong in him inside UK or outside UK. He goes out of UK and come back, and then it is Nigeria that will now say the broadcast he made in UK. That is one. And rightful, as you have said, that talking about nobody was forced to consume the contents of what he broadcast. It's like you buying a phone, a Samsung iPhone, or even going to even Facebook and other media platform. When you open it, you go stroke down and sign the privacy and other policy. You sign them. This is what this thing contains. Are you okay with it to consume it? This is what we do. This is what you can see here. You sign okay before you enter. Otherwise, you can filter whatever you want and whatever you don't want. The same thing applies to the app of Biafra Radio that we are using. It's all there. The policy is there, the guidelines and everything there. Even people that are coming in to download it, to see it, they all see it there. You sign it, and this is what you want to consume. And the news, the content which also goes out online, is being monitored. Is being monitored very, very well by all these sophisticated agencies and the strategy that I've mentioned earlier, and the strategy that are put in place. So for Nigeria coming up with this now is just so, even as backward as they may be, for them to coming up with this now is just laughable and dead, as it shouldn't have come up before. It shouldn't have come out at all. Now, talking about the broadcast about NSAS, like I said earlier, this is all going towards how they normally, when they know they are failing, how they normally end things. How did they end NSAS? Knowing that this is the youth, the whole youth of the country that comes up together. The boundaries, there's no there's no religious boundary, there's no cultural boundary, there's nothing. They all come out together in unison and say, enough is enough. This is what we want. End this, end suffering. Stop doing this, stop doing that to us. How did they go about it? After shooting and firing and everything, they come up with that strategy, which I said earlier, which I'm going to mention. Come out with that strategy of tribal bigotry, divide and rule. Saying, oh, it is the Igbos in Lagos that are causing it. It is also people in Lagos that are causing it. So that when two people are going together for the protest, one is wearing Yoruba attire, while the other one is dressing casual or Igbo attire. The other one that's wearing Yoruba attire, after listening to it, they say, they say you are the people that are causing this thing. Are you sure of this place we are going to? But we all agree that this is where we are going to. It is not, and to be honest, it's not even those people that are the youth that are doing this protest. It's the people that they bought, pay them. Not only police. Remember, in the instance, they came with tout. They paid tout. A well-known NURTW chairman in Lagos then came out and say and threatened the Igbos what was going to do to them and everything. They never did them anything. They say it was a sip of tongue. They gave most of them money. They organized youth, organized a few touts to go into the youth, infiltrate them and cause chaos among them. Then came the military, shooting sporadically at people. So everything that happened there, it's all there. They try to cover it up, cover everything that happened there. They try to cover it up. But now you're talking about Mazzi and inciting people. Now, inciting who? Who are the people incited? Where did he incite? Did he make the broadcast? Which country did he make the broadcast? All the country made the broadcast, all the strategy against terrorism and against hate speech were there. Did you report it? Did they find him guilty or worthy of investigating on that? You now bring it to Nigeria. This is what he said. This is what he made him to what he said to incite people. Incite people as how? Was he there in front of them and saying, I'm pointing at building and say, destroy this building, destroy that building, destroy this, destroy that? Everybody was saying enough is enough, rightfully as they should, saying enough is enough. You can't keep killing people, killing the kids, killing women, killing youth, killing the elderly, harvesting their organs, putting them under subjugation, extorting them illegally, and then do whatever you like in covering yourself in a government security agency's uniform, and then you have your way. And then there are all instances of this. They're all practical example of this. There is Okuzu SARS. There is SARS other places. There are some cells, things. A lot of things happen. A lot of evidence to show that what the people are crying for are there. What was done about that? Nothing was done about that. So what are you going to find about that? What are you going to find or hold on Mazzi Nnamdi for saying, yes, Nigerian youth, you people have the right to rise up for yourself. You have the right to protest. You have the right to vent your anger within the law. And you also have the right to also defend yourself if you are under attack. So it's all boiled down to what we are saying now. Now they are going to NSAS now. After going to NSAS, talking about NSAS in court now, what next are they going to say? They're going to go back to that divide and rule issue. That, oh, because he was from this tribe, so he was trying to insinuate this in so tribe or cause this, or where else are they going to go? And then this also goes to some other people whom Mazzi Nnamdi is fighting for their freedom, and they think that they feel so nonchalant about it. They don't want to stand up for their rights. They don't want to, they don't want to have anything to do about it. They believe that that's one room and parlor. They are staying in a swamp with a pass my neighbor generator. They're able to buy half carton of Indomie and cook and put red oil on their mini stove, and then put some veggies, and it make that sound and the aroma, that dirty aroma, feel everywhere. They believe they are okay. 2 hours of a pass my neighbor generator working in the night, and they go to sleep under mosquito. They come out the next day, and when you ask them, they say it is well. They believe that everything is okay. As far as they're in their market, what is happening now? Their market is being destroyed. They have been rendered cashless, moneyless. They have been rendered subjugated, and then you're not even accepted in the society where they are. Now it's also coming back to them. What's happening in NSAS now? It's now coming back again now, because now this man, now they are saying that, oh, it's because of NSAS now. What is he going to go back to now? Just watch what they are going to go back to now. They are going to go back. Oh, because he's from Southwest now, Southeast now. He's trying to inflict. They try to carry out these activities on these activities in the region where he's not from. And then now they're trying to they're trying to confuse the youth who are now saying, oh, this man has not done anything. Why holding him now? They're not trying to give them a new story to say, oh, yes. Oh, because he's Igbo, and it's because he's Hausa, because he's Yoruba. I have to stand with my people, whatever my people say. Since the person that is even there now remember the person that is in there as the president now was very, very instrumental in the massacre of people at a toll gate during NSAS.
Yes.
He was very, very instrumental in it. He was also very, very instrumental in covering it up. Now he's finding his way up to the presidency now. And then you all know that most of this issue we are talking about now, most of it is being discussed more among southeastern and southwesterners.
Is that?
Among southeast and the southeasterners and southwesterners, and also south as well. Then few majority from, with all due respect, but few majority from the north as well. So the confusion, the targeted place of confusion, or the targeted area of this their confusion is within the west and the east, the southwest and the southeast. Just put the confusion among them so that they start speaking differently, and then we can now find one way or the other to say. Otherwise, whatever they are talking about in this issue of these brokers concerning concerning NSAS has also been tabled before now, when the edited video put online, and it was caught that this video is edited. The voice was edited. It was cut and joined. You bring cut and join to present as evidence. It's not going to work. If you want to say what somebody say, go exactly to where he said it, undiluted, how he said it. Don't cut and join. How we said it and what it means. And then we have the learned ones, the lawyers there to look into it and then cross-examine the whole thing. So to me, it all goes to what Nigeria is. What is really happening in that court is what you say Nigeria is actually happening in that court, and it only takes it only takes the noble men in the land to be silent for evil to reign. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi. From all these things you just said, there's something people are forgetting. We're in the Western world. If you want to change, people go on the street and demonstrate. You go for a referendum if you want. You go for vote. You go and vote if you want change to happen. But in Nigeria, if you protest, they said it's a crime. You talk about a referendum, they said, oh, it's death penalty. Even though that it's enshrined in Nigerian constitution. You talk about vote. You vote, somebody who's the chairman of the INEC will stay somewhere in Kotangora and pronounce the winner. And nobody's saying anything. If you open your mouth to talk, everybody's shouting. That tells you how horrible it is with the country. And you can't shut any person down. It's now or never. Either people would get up and said, we have suffered enough. We have to change it. That is where everybody's running today to go to the Western world. They use their word dapper. Everybody wants to go. If UK is like Nigeria, would any person bother to come to UK? The answer is no. But we are being subjugated, like I said before. The same thing our great-grandfathers suffered from their great-grandfathers. Our grandfathers suffered the same thing. Our fathers suffered the same thing. Their children are still suffering now from the hands of the same children of these people. How much is enough? Is enough. So these things, if they like, let them talk about it tomorrow. Is a fact. People want to change, and they have it's their right to demonstrate.
Yes, Mazi, you're right. The NSAS was very, very, it was massive, but the thing is the biggest opportunity they had, the insurgency, or what do you guys call them, to actually do something. But it was hijacked. It was hijacked, and whatever video they are playing, because I could remember vividly, some of the Onion dudes was not involved in that. We wasn't involved in that. and our leader was actually warning them not to resort into violence or try to root, and they should be careful, not allowing their stomach to override them. And people. There was one young lady I watched one time on Facebook that narrate what transpired in SARS, Azoka, because that is where they were harvesting. When you have talked about this a long time ago, they were harvesting our people's organs there. I
In
think
Okozu, immediate number in Okozu,
yeah,
and Okozu SAS, yes.
SARS, now Azoka, SARS. So the lady, narrated what happened, how their brothers was picked up in a party and went there. The man, he mentioned the man that was in charge, that horrible man. The parents came with money. And the next day they came, they told them their brother is no longer there. I think they killed their brother. Because they were, I don't know how much they're selling a kidney. Kidney is expensive over here. So that thing they resulted to, and that was what brought about the NSAS. NSAS was collectively. The youth, the Gen Zs came out and want to do something meaningful. But what do they do at the end of the day? Even the so celebrity, everybody was trying to enforce, but it was hijacked. So we see how it goes. The so-called evidence that bring it. It is in the people domain. It's not like something that is hidden. It's not incisive. It was educative because our leader was there to, I think one of his broadcasts, he was just commenting on it and advising the youth to do the right thing, not to go there and make sure they didn't do something stupid. Which at the end of the day, Aswaju himself, I won't say anything because kidnapping has become the modus operandi of the so-called zoo. They kidnap each other, just like the way they went to kidnap Onyendu. They don't. This is something they have resorted to. The dead Buhari did it in 1980s, 86 when he kidnapped is it Omadru or whatever his name is?
Umaru Duko.
Omaru Duko here in UK.
Not 1983.
83. So, and when he became the first military president. So, it has been there. So, I mean, it's not something that people are not aware of, but just that because of people are so domiciled, you know what I mean? They don't want to do anything. Like Ikechuku said, people are just focused. That mentality of our people feel content with whatever you have, as long as me and my family can afford what we can. I don't care about the next man, my next door neighbor if he's dying with hungry, and that is not how a society shall, to progress. If you ask me, so yeah, Mazi, I think we're on the right path, but as we are here with Maz Roman is here, but I think he's still waiting to. I don't know, Maz Roman, can you hear us? If there's anything you want to add, I think he's in the studio, but I don't know if he has anything to say.
Yes, I can hear very well, and I hope you can hear me too. Series of videos or video exhibits, I should say, are being played. The first one, which happened during the one playing now. This is the third section of exhibit in the flash drives they presented, which happened, I think, during our Memorial Day, May 30th or May 31. In 2021, this is I'm positing this, this is what I'm positing because in May 2021, 30th of May fell into Sunday, So that very broadcast of Mazzi Kano was made, during that time, I think on Monday 31st, after the heat and pressure came that Onyendu shouldn't allow sit at home on a Sunday. No, so that was what happened that Sunday passed, and it was relaxed on Sunday. On Monday, 31st of May, 2021. I think that was the last time we had Onyendu live on air. and the unfortunate rendition happened. Do you understand me? So extraordinary, I must add, yeah. So I think that's the video being played here as exhibit. You know, recording or showing recordings of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. They even played wherein he said, give respect or ordered us to give respect to our fallen heroes when the time hits 12 noon, 12 p.m. on that very day. You know, so we are still here in court, and as I said intermittently, the video, the clips are being paused and questions are asked. Once in a while, they would ask questions like, you know, it was on Facebook Live, so Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was appearing, was visually represented, yeah, appearing visually. So they would ask the PW2BBB, who is on the screen here? Do you recognize who is on the screen here? And, you know, the answer would be yes, it is Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB leader, you know. So we are still here, Mazi, and I believe people are also following us on our updates. There is a thread going on, I think, behind this live broadcast, you know, within which we share what's happening as well in the comment section. So I think people are following also religiously, I must add, you know. So that is it so far, Mazi. Thank you for having me. I am still here, you know. I will stand by for now, except there is any question, so to say.
Yeah, let me just recap yesterday. Remember yesterday about the incident that took place at the end of the. I don't know if there's anything. Those are our people that were, you know, like were ambushed yesterday. Was everything done according to you? Because I think I didn't see any updates on that yesterday. Was everything done properly as she should?
Yeah, sure, surely. In fact, and in short, I must say, at the end of the day, those apprehended, they were released by courtesy of a lawyer's intervention. You know,
That's excellent.
there was a hot chase, as I did put forward, you know, towards those people, the DSS officials that apprehended supporters who were on the court bounds on the bounds of the court. They were not even inside the courtroom or even in the court auditorium, so to speak. Just on the borders of the court premises. Okay, so they were seen just flaunting banners with inscriptions such as "Free MNK," you know, so and so. I think it's in the public domain. We couldn't you know, relate and update us because of the overwhelming tension that followed that very exercise, you know. So, but apart from that, all is well for now.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you, Mazi. Thank you very much. And one more thing: are we going to have any cross section after the end of proceedings today, so that we know where exactly is there anything like that coming up? Because I think I'm going to put all this avid video for now, and I'm waiting for any update coming from your side.
Well, the proceedings are still going on, and for now, we are still in session. Until we are done, we shall obviously come back, you know.
Okay, then I have to play this avid video. Thank you very much, Mazi. Mazi Kanu Takana, Mazi Kechu. Are we going to play this avid video now? And still hang on, you know, and wait. So, you know,
Yeah, you can play the Avid, you know. You can
yeah.
play the Avid distance, yes.
Well, I'll let that play for now. So, as we are patiently waiting, since they're in the marathon today, and which is good to see the outcomes. What is it going to be? Yeah, they won. So,
Thank you very much. Thank you
yeah.
very much. And I will be exiting in case if you don't get me back. I'll be exiting and I'll connect again. Connect back
Okay,
again.
that's
Thank you
fine.
very much.
That's fine. That's fine. Mazi Kechuku. Yeah. So, and that's how we're going to do it for now. Yes, Facebook. Just just permit us to play this video. This video is no purpose of any generating. This is specifically for to just educate our people, and these are people that hold solidarity to our leader Mazi as the trial is going on the so-called court in Nigeria. So the credit to those that are involved in this video has been given to them, and there's no revenue generating on this video.
My name is Dr. Sylvester Onyia, President of American Military Veterans of Igbo Descent, AVID. I'm here today with Rising Sons and Ambassadors for Self-Determination. We're in the state capital to bring our concerns to the American folks that Nnamdi Kanu need to be released now. A lot of people have talked about him being unjustly incarcerated for nothing. He is not the problem of Nigeria. If anything, he's the solution to solve Nigerian problems. We're asking President Tinubu, just like we asked President Buhari, that got him in the first place, to release him. They have not done anything to anybody. On this note, we are reminding the world about what happened in January 2017, when inauguration of Donald Trump was celebrated in Port Harcourt, and the Nigerian government shut down and killed over 27 young youths of Igbo descent, IPOB young stars, for doing nothing but cheering up the president of their choice. This happened and nobody have been brought to account for that. We are asking that the government of the United States under Donald Trump, present president, to look into that massacre, because it was democracy that was being celebrated, and those youths were happy, rejoicing that such a good thing happened, and the military went and killed them all like chickens. We continue to ask, what is it that you're holding Nnamdi Kanu for? And we believe, as a British citizen, the British government's hand is in it, because Nnamdi was discussing about the atrocities they're doing in Nigeria. They don't want any development in Nigeria. Everything that we are doing is what Nnamdi was preaching on, and everything he have said before have happened today, and it's still happening. The jihadis coming in to work for the British government and to be killing people, the Fulani herdsmen, the terrorists, and that's what they are, killing people, trying to displace indigenous people, trying to take their lands from them, land grabbing. We want the world to look into it, more especially the United States government. For one thing, if nothing is done, once these jihadis get hold of the southeast, the Christians that they're trying to exterminate, they will have hold of the sweet crew. And once that happens, the next thing will be to challenge the United States and even the Britain that is encouraging them to do their bad deeds.
So, Father, I've heard that a Nigerian government official, the Inspector General of the DSS, Department of State Services, has said, Nigerians, defend yourselves from the terrorists and the bandits, end quote. So, Father, as a minister of God, do you support self-defense, especially where it may lead to the killing of your assailant?
Thank you very much, sir, for the question. And if you don't mind, let me begin by thanking you and your colleagues who have been working with us tirelessly to bring to the awareness of the world the level of injustice that is going on in Nigeria. Is getting too much, and at some point somebody somewhere has to stand up and say enough is enough. Now, coming to your question, yes, the Director General of DSS, who in American context, we might equate to the Director of Homeland Security, is a special government official in Nigeria who is privy to top secret intelligence actually. For him to step forward and publicly told Nigerians, arm and defend yourselves, tells me a couple of things. One, Nigeria is either becoming a failed state or is already a failed state. Why? Because he said that they don't have enough government manpower to defend you. The military, the police, the DSS, that they don't have enough power to defend their citizens. What is the primary responsibility of any government, democratic government? To defend the lives and property of the people. So, for the director of DSS to say, we don't have what it takes to protect you Nigerians, it means that they are incapacitated. Self-defense is a natural phenomenon. If I were to pinch you now, you would blink unconsciously in defense of yourself. So self-defense is a natural phenomenon. But in the context of the DSS, honestly, I wasn't expecting that we shall come to that level at which the common people are required to arm themselves and defend themselves. But guess what? It has happened. In other words, what it means is you're on your own. If anything happens to you, you have yourself to blame. Now, because self-defense is a natural phenomenon, I have never read about any law, moral law, Christian law, civil law, natural law that is against self-defense. None whatsoever. But you know what? Where you have a good government, you take it for granted that you are protected. And so it's not even a question of whether I support it or not, or whether it is legal or not. And then for the government to say, defend you. Yourself. Now, we are taking self-defense to a higher level. The level of you have to do everything possible to protect your life. Your life is the most precious gift God has given you. Very, very precious. God has given us a precious life to take care of, and we should guard it judiciously. But what is happening in Nigeria is that a group of bandits, terrorists, have taken it upon themselves to be massacring people at will. They carry arms all over the place, unchecked, unhindered. And they are decimating ethnic groups. In the name of herders, farmers, clash, rubbish. There is more to it. There is a hidden agenda. And that is ethnic cleansing and religious persecution. That is what has been going on. At this point in time, I will actually go the extra mile to advocate for self-defense. And people should defend themselves. And I'm asking my people, you cannot waste the life, precious life God has given you. You must defend it. Because there's no way. It has come to that. If the government tells you to defend yourself, defend yourself. That's what I will tell my people. And then I will ask our brothers and sisters in diaspora, especially here in America, who are from Igbo descent, Igbos here in America and Europe, organize yourselves, raise money, and make sure that your respective communities at home are protected. Have a very working vigilante groups, and make sure that your communities are protected. The time to pretend that everything is okay back home in Nigeria is gone and may never come back until that country disintegrates. Because honestly, a failed state, the only solution to a failed state is disintegration to attend whole Israel. Everybody should go and take care of themselves. From the local communities, maybe to the regional level. And guess what? This is exactly what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been preaching for more than 10 to 15 years. That these people are coming. These are mercenaries sponsored by the Fulani hegemony to decimate the rest of the ethnic groups in Nigeria. And the government has done little or nothing to stop them. And to our greatest embarrassment, or even being fair to them, they have now told us officially that there's not much they can do.
So, Bruce Fine, as a constitutional lawyer and the International Council for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and you've visited Nigeria many times. Your client has served over 5 years in prison. What is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's current situation, and how has the current state of the Nigerian Constitution and the rule of law affected Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's freedom?
Well, thank you for that wonderful question. We're really gathered here today to pay homage to Nnamdi Kanu and his unsurpassed courage that has given the Biafrans hope, which is what sustains a people and moving forward towards justice. Nnamdi Kanu was victim of a crime. Crime perpetrator was the nation of Nigeria. In 2021, he was kidnapped and tortured in Kenya. He was then returned to Nigeria, where he's been denied a trial for now over 4 years. I helped precipitate a ruling from the working group on arbitrary detention in Geneva, holding very unambiguously and calling for the immediate and unconditional Nnamdi Kanu, because the government of Nigeria had violated 16 human rights covenants that were binding on all nations, whether they accepted them or not. The Nigerian government has flouted that decree now for almost 3 years. Nnamdi Kanu remains in isolation. Again, he's never ever been given an opportunity for a trial. There are repeated adjournments because there is no evidence. I've examined the indictments. They're really quite hollow. They don't have any specificity of what Nnamdi Kanu did that caused any kind of violence or harm. And at present, there still is no scheduled trial date. It's a continuing criminal violation by the Nigerian government. The great irony is that the real case should be Nnamdi Kanu versus the government of Nigeria, which should be in the defendant's chair. One of the things that's very astonishing is that for hundreds of years of Anglo-American jurisprudence, there's a motto: crime should not pay. The Nigerian government is trying to make their crime against Nnamdi Kanu pay, which is intolerable.
Bruce, what can be done to the government of Nigeria to help free Mazi Kanu?
Well, there are several precedents. One, during apartheid, South Africa was suspended from the United Nations General Assembly until Nelson Mandela was released. And there's nothing that prevents petitions now to the United Nations General Assembly insisting that Nigeria be suspended until they release Nnamdi Kanu. That's one possibility. Another would be if you had the president issue an executive order says there are going to be no Nigerian visas to visit the U.S. until Nnamdi Kanu is released. That would impress upon all Nigerians the penalty they're paying because the government is being so lawless and tyrannical. There are other options, like having an international arms embargo on Nigeria until Nnamdi Kanu is released, having very, very high tariffs on anything sold by Nigeria until Nnamdi Kanu is released. These are financial pressures. They've been utilized in other countries in the past. It's a matter of political will, not law.
Chief Ugonna, how do the attacks on the Christian community and the continued injustice faced by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu serve as a serious warning sign for all Nigerians about the state of justice and freedom in the country?
You know, that's an excellent question, and thank you for posing that. I want to tell you a short story. I've been going to the region for 20 years, and the first 10 years that I was there, it was quite peaceful, at least in the southeast. some of this was brewing already in the north, but in the southeast and the spaces where I was at with the Igbo, quite frankly, was fairly peaceful. And then, right around the time actually when they put Mazi Namikano under chains, things blew up. And more than that, I think when people in the villages and the boroughs of Southeast Nigeria look at this, they see, wow, if they can do that to somebody like Mazi Namikano, who is quite an individual, what could they do to me? What can they do to the individual citizens? It's just gone wrong. I'm telling you, and I've told the State Department here before, not from this current administration, but the previous one, that if in fact, if we don't do something about this, that place is going to implode, and we're going to end up with a pile of people coming over who will immigrate just to get out of the place. That's what's going to happen. I think the other thing that lines up where the people, the situations that they're living in, many of them are Christians. We've said before, 90% plus are Christian. Those who are Christian are experiencing the same kind of attack. There's a group in Southeast Nigeria called Inner Society. And they're a data crunching kind of group. And they've also got a very nice legal angle where they triangulate on everything to make sure that what they print is real. And they printed a statistic where they said just recently that for a period of 9 years, there were more than 30,000, mostly Christians, either killed or extremely violated. And even since they printed that, another 9,000 have been added to the list. So you're talking about 40,000 people. When we had our 9/11 here in the U.S., it wasn't anywhere near 40,000. And look at the reaction we had. 40,000 people being killed or violated should draw an unbelievable personal explosion. I think one of the things that people need to do, citizens, whoever is a citizen in Nigeria listening to this broadcast, need to really think this way. I used to work for a guy who said, you know what, now that we've had all this discussion, that's all wonderful, but tomorrow morning when you wake up, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And the point is, you need to be able to answer that question. And for me, it comes down to three things. The first is you need to understand what's going on. What's going on in your village? Who are those strangers out in the bush? Who are they? What are they doing? You need to understand what's happening to you. You can't wait for somebody to tell you. Nobody's going to tell you. When DSS has already said, you know what? You better take care of yourself. Actually, I don't know if they really want to give us any good advice, but that's good advice. We need to take care of us. You need to get up and understand what's going on. The second thing you need to do is you need to have a plan. You need to start to think about, what am I going to do tomorrow morning? What's the plan? I need a plan. And the third thing you need to do is take it personal. Now, you might say, what's this white chief? How many white chiefs do you see with a red hat? Not too many. What's he doing? I want to tell you what I'm doing, okay? What's important to me? When it comes to understanding what's going on, we are all about, I spent 20 years understanding what's going on. And some people even pin the label on me, not big A, but big I for Igbo. They said, boy, he knows a lot about the Igbo, that guy. Because I've spent 365 days on ground. And in so doing, I learned what's really critical to the Igbo, to the ethnicity, to the ancestral Igbo. What's important to that person? Why are they the way they are? So I did that. I started to understand by working with the people around, standing here and many others. I've learned all the ins and outs of what's driving, what's the history. What did the British do? How did they fumble the ball so badly when they set this place up? How did that happen? And so I've learned about that. So I know what's going on. The second thing is I've got a plan. One thing I learned from my dad, and God rest his soul, my dad was a Marine Corps staff sergeant. And so you can imagine, as a young boy, I was on the run. My dad, he said, son, you're either going to be part of the problem or you're going to be part of the solution. And you know what? I've chosen, I think wisely, to be part of the solution. Part of the solution is critical. And you know what? You as citizens need to be part of the solution. And you need to come up with it yourself. You know what? Just like DSS, they're not going to tell us what to do. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. You need to figure it out for yourself and then do it. And then the third thing is take it personal. Now, what have I been doing? You can tell just by the way I am. I take things personal. And when I come to this place behind me, and I spend a lot of time at the State Department as well, and as a group with Avid, Avid's a great organization. Avid, with that group, we've spent a lot of time in the halls of Congress, knocking on the doors, talking with people. When we're with those people, what we're doing is we're taking them through the same 3 steps. United States government, you actually don't understand what's going on in Africa. Listen to us. We'll tell you what's going on. It's an ancestral place. And what happens is when they abscond with somebody who's iconic in the society. I mean, Mazi Namikano is iconic. When they put somebody like that in chains and just throw away the key, which they've done, they've thrown away the key. We should be taking that personal. And once again, if they can do what they're doing with him, they're doing with us, and that's when the 40,000 Christians that they've got on the run. There's another little bit of data you ought to know about. You know, all the people, and I bet there's hardly anybody in the region who hasn't been personally touched by a disappearance. You've got family, friends, fellow villagers who've been absconded with, they've been stolen. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. You know what's going on. Well, what happens is we need to tell the people in these powerful places, because they have a lot of control. I think you've heard quite a bit of wisdom about what the U.S. government can do. But for sure, the U.S. government needs to understand that if these 3 questions don't get answered, also by the United States, understand, have a plan, and take it personal, one day it will come to our shore. One day that place will just turn into a mess. And we need to make sure that it doesn't come to our shore.
Evans, a lot has been said about what is wrong in Nigeria, especially the illegal detention of Mazi Namdi-Kanu. What are your thoughts?
Well, I can tell you that we've heard an earful about the evil and atrocities going on in Nigeria. But one thing about evil is that it's really perpetrated by a few, because there are all good people everywhere. There's good people in the north, there's good people in the south, but few bad apples that happens to galvanize the masses to commit evil against their own citizens. I'm telling you that evil may live for a while or may even live for a long time, but evil will never live forever, because every evil has an expiration date. It always does. So I'm telling you that the time of massacre of Christians in the north and south has expired. Right?
Expired.
Right.
Expired.
The genocide against the Igbos has also expired. And the incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Mandela of our era, the Mandela of Nigeria, his incarceration has now expired. You've heard me describe Nigeria as a dark nation. And the only thing that can overtake darkness is light.
Right.
So I'm asking the Congress of the United States to be the light and enact the laws that will stop what's going on in Nigeria. Beginning with designating the nation as a country of particular concern. I'm also asking those in diaspora, like myself, to wake up and do something to help your citizens back home. We can always do something individually, but we can do much more collectively. This is a cause that I'm willing to die for. And I will continue to fight until my last breath.
Tell me about the Nigerian government. Have they adequately protected human rights and enforced their laws regarding the protection of lives and property of her Igbo and Christian citizens?
The question of human rights in Nigeria ought to go directly to a few people that I will mention.
Okay.
They will talk about that. I'm talking about the person of a young lady called Leah Sharif,
Okay.
that was kidnapped by Boko Haram when she was 15 years old. 15 years old, she was kidnapped.
Yeah.
Until this day, she remains in the custody of the terrorists.
Yes.
She cried out to her government, and they did nothing. No rescue, no help. And I want to surprise you. This young woman today is 25 years old. 25 years old, having children for terrorists, while the federal government of Nigeria ignores her cry
Yes.
for help and assistance.
Yeah.
So you ask Leah Sharif about the fundamental human rights in Nigeria,
Yes.
and she will tell you the rest of the story. Another person that is worthy of note is another young lady by the name Deborah Samuel, a young college student in Shangari College of Education, Sokoto, Nigeria. This young woman was stoned to death in broad daylight while people stood and watched, while the government stood and watched. The army and the police, all the security apparatus, they stood and watched an innocent girl mowed down in broad daylight, and her body was set ablaze. Chances are this young woman was still alive while she was in flames. Things that you cannot bear as a father, as a brother. These things are happening in this country called Nigeria. And people expect us to be proud of the country. That's why we are here to talk to lawmakers over here, those that will listen, and I'm glad that they're paying attention.
What do you
They're
wish,
taking note.
What do you wish that the lawmakers would do first?
First of all, back during the days of the Trump administration, Nigeria was in the list of CPC country of particular concern.
Yes.
Then the new administration came in under Joe Biden, and they were taken off. Now, both houses of Congress, the House of Senate, the House of Rep, they're coming together to put Nigeria back as a CPC country that needs to be watched.
Yep.
Country that violates fundamental human rights.
Yes.
Country that may be sanctioned.
Yep.
Until they change their ways.
So, for the folks who are hearing us for the first time, what would you hope that they could do?
What I hope that they can do is to take the message to their respective constituents, to talk to their lawmakers, their reps, their senators, their House of Representatives. Tell them what's going on. Yeah. Tell them what's happening to other people on the other side. So maybe at least they can learn some voice when they're in session here at Congress. That's why we come here.
Yes.
This country holds the record for beacon of democracy in the world. That's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah.
One more thing, and the legendary of human rights violation, okay, ought to be referred to a man in the person of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's continuous incarceration is the primary reason why we are here. We are here to call for his immediate and unconditional release. As already decided by United Nation back in 2022. For people that do not know Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, today he's being referred to as a secessionist. He wants to divide Nigeria. But I want to let you know one thing, how this young man started this whole thing. He did not start this whole thing by calling for Biafra or calling to be separated from the nation. He started in the year of 2012 and 2013 in London, on the streets of London, calling for one Nigeria, for unity, for the government to pay attention to the suffering of the people. The children are suffering. There's no job, unemployment everywhere. Our young people has taken up to criminality. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saw this and he began to preach, to talk about it. He wasn't calling about secession. He wasn't calling for Biafra. He was just a devoted citizen of the country. Well, seeing that felt a deaf ear, so he began to call for a referendum. What is a referendum? An opportunity for men and women, citizens of a particular country, to come together lawfully and decide their self-determination. Decide who to govern them, to elect government over them. It's called government by the consent of the governed. There's nothing wrong with that. And for that, this young man was arrested in 2015 and put in prison. And 2 years down the road, he was granted bail and was allowed to go home. While he was enjoying his bail, preparing to come to court, consistent with the bail conditions, he was invaded by the same government that granted him bail. A combined forces of the military, the Air Force, Navy, all of them invaded his home on a planned assassination attempt. They called it the legendary Python dance. Python should be dancing in the forest, not in a village where there were women, children, and elderlies. That's where the Nigerian military came to operate their Python dance. But at the end of the day, when the Python has finished dancing, scores of human beings were left dead. Properties were destroyed. Where's the justice? Where's the government? Where's the right of the people to be protected?
Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of indigenous people of Biafra all over this world. Wherever you see IPOB, I lead them. I command the 17 commanders of the armies of Biafra. A combination of Southeast and the South-South for those unfortunate enough to be educated in the backwardness that is the Zoological Republic. I command all the armies of Biafra. I said all of them. So do I direct Radio Biafra. By the very special grace of Chukwu Okike Abiyama Bonyanyinefe in heaven, I will serve you diligently and honestly. Any day I get up from my bed and the first thing I think about is not to worship heaven, not to restore the dignity of my country, that day let me perish. I did not say if I look sideways or take bribe or become corrupt. I didn't say that. Listen to me very carefully. I said if I wake up from bed in the morning and the first thing I think about is not Chukwu Abiyama and Biafra that we are restoring, please kill me. After all, that is why I was born. On the day that I was born. That is why I come from where I come from. That is why I come from the family that I come from. That Biafra may come. Any other thing is failure. And I don't countenance failure. That is why I said to you, in the end, we always win. Don't we win? As the idiot who is now a madman in a Norwegian hospital, they will tell you. If you come after us, you fall. We won't touch you. You will self-destruct. You become hopeless and useless. Unless you repent, of course. This is Radio Biafra. And heaven will always take the glory.
What is coming with it? They have no idea. I feel sorry for the zoo. They have no idea. Any day that all of you gang up to support your one Nigeria garbage, the more you're digging your collective graves. Nigeria can never ever be fixed. It's broken beyond repair. Can never be fixed.
Everything I told you came to pass. One is remaining, and that is Biafra. And I assure you that Biafra will come. That Biafra will come. That Biafra will
On behalf of Ambassador for Self-Determination, I'd like to welcome you to this gathering, which we're gathered today to support the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So let's watch this video.
Putin killed Navalny because Navalny was the one opposition leader in Russia that Putin feared the most. So this is a really tragic day for me, and it should be a tragic day for anybody who cares about democracy. You know, remember, he went back to Russia. He didn't have to go back. He went back for his country because he was a patriot that believed that his country could be different. I put him in the same ranks as the Navalny of Mandela and Valensa and Havel, but with one tragic difference now. Navalny is dead.
This particular clip, I was watching that, was a Friday morning when we got the news of Alexei Navalny's death. And obviously, the thing that came to mind, I didn't know much about Alexei, but this says it all, because he was under Vladimir Putin's thumb. First, I started to see the resemblance between his situation and Mazi Kanu's situation. Putin, as the head of state, tried to poison this gentleman, and then he recovered from that. The Nigerian government tried to kill Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he survived and escaped. Navalny returned to Russia. He was immediately arrested and put in jail, solitary confinement. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was minding his own business in Kenya when he was illegally abducted, renditioned to Nigeria, and put in jail, solitary confinement. Same situation. Anybody that cares about democracy, the first thing that comes to mind is not to let Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's fate become what we just saw. And that's what got me excited. We've been quietly trying to get a coalition of people to actually demand his release, but it's been difficult. But this particular example really made me realize that if anyone has anything that they can contribute towards this man's release, to do it now. Those of you who don't know about Mazi Kanu, I'm going to invite Ben to sort of give us a little glimpse as to who he is and why he's doing what he's doing and why all of us should demand, collectively and individually, for his immediate and unconditional release.
Well, today is a sad day in Nigeria because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains in solitary confinement. As of today, he has been in solitary confinement since June of 2021. Like Evans rightfully said, he was kidnapped from Kenya, minding his own business. But the fact is, this was not the first time he was kidnapped. He was first kidnapped in 2015 in Nigeria, and he was locked up for 2 years. And later on, he was released. And then there is a failed assassination of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in his own home in Abia State. And miraculously, you know, he escaped that very assassination only by God's grace. So he's alive today. But I want everybody to know, any day Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains in solitary confinement is another day of violation of his fundamental right as a human being, as a father, as a husband, and as a community leader. There is no reason why he should be in prison today, if not for the sake of others. He wasn't fighting for his own, he wasn't fighting for his family, he wasn't fighting in the name of the Kanu community, he was fighting for the interests of all. So I believe there's a video that we're going to show you so you can get a taste, a glimpse of some of the things that took place that really, made Mazi to come out in public and began to openly call for the freedom of our people. But before then, there's something happened. You're going to see a different Mazi back in 2013 in Europe. He wasn't campaigning for Biafra. He was not agitating for the freedom of Biafra. He was actually agitating for Nigeria to get better, for the government to take note of the suffering of the masses and do something. Do something so that everybody will benefit, with no mention of Biafra, until Nigeria failed him, and it was crystal clear that this country is not going anywhere. They're not going to listen. They don't care about their people. Well, if you don't care about Nigerian citizens, I'm going to care about my people. That's when he began to talk about Biafra, to talk about separating from Nigeria, so that every region can develop, at their own pace. So you can make policy and rules that will benefit your people because you know your people. Because there's nothing that holding Nigeria together. It's three nations put together to be one nation, and nothing worked. Nothing ever worked, nothing is working, and it will never work. So I want to show that video while he was in London talking about the situation in Nigeria.
The reason why we're here today is to protest the killing of innocent women and children. Those of us in the UK are determined to work with the government for peace. We are determined to work with the international community for peace. But one thing we cannot stomach is a repeat of 1966. What is happening today in Nigeria was the reason why Nigeria fought a bitter civil war for 3 years between 1967 and 1970. If this continues, there will be another civil war in Nigeria. And this time around, no place will be safe in Nigeria. This time around, nobody will be safe in Nigeria. So it is imperative that everybody who has the interest of the country at heart acts now and immediately to stop this nonsense from continuing.
The Nigerian government has its own way of dealing with peaceful gatherings it doesn't like. The day began with a gathering of people come to pray for the release from prison of one of their leaders.
Provide us some evidence that IPOB's a terrorist group. More than 2 years later, still zero. You can't make free speech and freedom of association terrorism. Every single day that he languishes in that solitary confinement is another crime against humanity.
The protest that you saw, where you saw the army shooting people, innocent, unarmed citizens, that took place in 2016. Okay, our people came together, as they have done several years before, okay, to honor their fallen heroes, those that fell in the Biafran Nigerian Civil War of 1967 through 1970. So they gathered, this is a high school. They were not on the street protesting. No. They were not in front of the House of Assembly with placard protesting. No. They were not marching or causing insurrection anywhere. No. They were in a particular place. You have to go through a gate to come into the school premises. That's where they gathered. And that's where the combined forces of Nigerian Army, Air Force, Navy, DSS came in there, took a combat position on the ground, and opened a live ammunition. And at the end of the day, they murdered over 150 young men and women. 150 young men and women. And this was reported by Amnesty International. It was all over the globe. And to make matters worse, They took their body and dumped them in a mass grave where they poured acid on these children so they become unrecognizable. So how could somebody tell me or convince anybody that this is a viable nation that would work for everyone? These are the atrocities that led to the debut of the person of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that you hear today. And this young man requested for things to get better, build schools, build roads and bridges, build hospitals, so that our women will have a place they can go and receive a proper medical attention. Build recreational centers, build factories. So as young men and women are graduating from school, they have a place where they can be gainfully employed. They don't want to do any of this. But this country will spend money from the oil revenue to import terrorists from all over the world. Right now, there are more than 5 terrorist groups that operate in the country today. Ansaru is in Nigeria. El-Shabaab is in Nigeria. Mieti Allah operates in Nigeria. Fulani bandits operate in Nigeria. Fulani herders that have been named the 4th deadliest terrorist group in the world by the Global Terrorist Watch of West Africa. These terrorist groups operate in Nigeria. And the government of Nigeria provides an enabling environment for them to thrive, for them to do their bidding. They provide them with logistics, money, arms, and then they send them to the eastern region of Nigeria to kill my people and to destabilize the region. That is their goal. And that's exactly what they're doing now. These are the things that brought out Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If the country was working, you may not know who Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is. It wasn't working. And it's never going to work. Not the way the country is presently constituted. When he was out, people say you're calling for war, you want to war, you're causing problem. You know, he said, no. I'm not causing problem. I'm just asking our government, the government to do the right thing by the people. So I'm going to stop here, and you can hear his goals and aspiration.
You're not talking about a federation when you say a confederation. You're not talking about a federation as part of Nigeria. You're talking about total independence.
Absolute independence.
Complete independence. Now, is there anything that can happen that will make you change your mind about this particular direction?
No.
So it is either Biafra or nothing else?
Or death, yes.
Or death?
That's correct.
If push comes to shove,
yes,
will you go to war?
No, because truth is a far more potent and deadlier weapon than bullets and mortars.
So no war? You've ruled out the...
Absolutely, I don't believe in war, no war.
Well, we're going to invite Attorney Jesse to educate us a bit on the legal aspect of the whole thing where we are today. Brother Jess, thank you, brother. There you go.
So, I'm a construction lawyer, and the only time I ever get called on to engage any sort of criminal law is if a client's son or daughter gets in trouble in college. But even the ignoramus construction lawyer knows when something's wrong from a criminal standpoint, and there are just so many wrongs involved with these timelines, and I want you to keep in mind two things that are fundamental, not just here in the U.S., but worldwide for the most part, according to the UN. One is the right to confer with your counsel, or to at least have contact on a consistent basis with your counsel, even if you're in jail, to have that right and have that privilege. Otherwise, how do you prepare a defense? The second is the concept of a right to a speedy trial, meaning you're not to sit and languish, let alone in solitary confinement, when when you are awaiting trial or awaiting the process to deliver whether or not you are guilty or innocent. So that's what sticks out most to me when I look at this timeline, and it's truly remarkable. But going back to
about this report.
The family of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has condemned what they described as shameful and deliberate misrepresentation of the court proceedings in the ongoing trial of Kanu, as reported by some media outlets. A statement made available to journalists by the family through Prince Emmanuel Kanu noted that the article titled Nnamdi Kanu admitted inciting public to attack police, witness tells court, is a blatant distortion of the truth designed to mislead the public and tarnish the global reputation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He said this disgraceful journalism reflects a disturbing trend of anti-Biafra and Igbo-hating sentiment that prioritize sensationalism over factual reporting. Prince Kanu disclosed that what transpired in court on May 6, 2025, when the hearing resumed at the Federal High Court in Abuja before Justice James Omotosho, exposed the prosecution's weak and embarrassing case. The family noted that the cross-examination of the prosecution's witness, PWAAA, from the Department of State Services, DSS, revealed a shocking lack of awareness regarding the charges against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The statement further emphasized that the family will not stand idly by while Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's reputation is unjustly maligned, demanding that media outlets retract their false reports and focus on the substance of the case. Basul Okafor, Silverbird Television.
Condemned the shameful and deliberate misrepresentation of the court proceedings in the ongoing trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as reported by several media outlets. The family, in a statement signed by Prince Emmanuel Kanu, on behalf of the family, described the report on the admittance to inciting public to attack police by Kanu in the ongoing trial as blatant distortion of the truth designed to mislead the public and tarnish the global reputation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It noted that the resumed hearing at the Federal High Court in Abuja, presided over by the Honorable Justice James Omotosho, exposed the prosecution's weak and embarrassing case. The family proceeded that the cross-examination of the prosecution's witness, PWAAA, from the Department of State Services revealed a shocking lack of awareness regarding the charges against Nnamdi Kanu, as the witness repeatedly admitted ignorance of critical details, including the statement noted that the deliberate misinformation emanating from this trial underscored the urgent need for transparency, just as it humbly called on Justice James Omotosho to allow live streaming of the proceedings. He declared that he will not stand idly while Nnamdi Kanu's reputation is unjustly maligned, and therefore demanded that media outlets retract their false reports and focus on the substance of the case.
when Mr. Kanu was arrested and detained for over a year. You don't see anything about a trial or a finding of guilty there, right? You just see that he was detained for a year with no outcome. Well, I guess he made bail in April of 2017 and was released, only to be have his home invaded, has been said, in a government failed assassination attempt. So then the process was to kidnap him and torture him for 8 days and then hand him over to the Nigerian government. So here we are, some sort of accusations starting in October of 15, and then we're in June of 2021, 6 years later, without any finding of innocence or guilt, and this is still ongoing. January of 2022, he actually gets a trial, and the Nigerian army was found guilty of the failed assassination attempt in violation of his rights. Now, we've heard in past gatherings of from lead counsel for Mr. Kanu that there are occasions where he would fly all the way from the U.S. and not be allowed to meet with Mr. Kanu to prepare a defense. So he would be told to wait and wait and wait and still not receive contact with Mr. Kanu, his client, okay, to prepare a defense to the proceedings and to the charges at hand, which is just absolutely nightmarish and outlandishly unfair and outlandishly a violation of human rights. We start preparing civil cases in the construction world that have just money on the line years in advance. Yet here's Mr. Kanu rotting in a cell, not allowed contact with his counsel to prepare for charges.
Mazi, can you go on the? I've already brought you in. Mazi Lawman. Yeah, welcome back, Biafrans. I think the court president has just been adjourned, so let's hear from the correspondent on the ground. The court continues tomorrow, which is 8th of May. So let's hear from him. So, yeah. I'm just, I think, probably intermittency, the epileptic network in the zoo.
Okay, thank you very much, Mazi.
Today,
the 8th day of May, 2025, the 7th day of May, 2025. Today was slated, as we all know, for the continuation of trial. So a lot of things transpired in a video exhibit, which was played in court. About 5 clips were played, exhibit, so to speak. And I understand all of you have been following procedurally. However, we have a team of lawyers here. We shall hear from them what's transpired in court. In summary, the next voice shall be one of us, Barrister Nemeke Ejiofor, and co, I must add. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much, Barrister, for joining us.
Thank you.
Today, could you tell us, please, what transpired in court?
Well, today is the 7th of May, 2025. We had the second hearing the month of May for the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu before the Federal High Court number 7, presided over by Justice James Omotosho. Well, today they brought in their second witness who gave evidence as a staff of the DSS, and where he told the court that he took down the statement of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He tendered the statement where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu objected to making further statements. He only wrote his name
and wrote that he would not make further statement because he had made statements enough. Then he went on to tender videos of Mazi Kano's broadcasts, some of his telephone interview with people in the course of pursuit for the independence of Biafra. And some of the videos he tendered constituted one, the period ESN was launched. And it's critical at this point that we mention that he stated vividly in that video that ESN is not a military arm of IPOB, but a vigilante group in the line with Amotekun and other vigilante services that are operational within the country called Nigeria. He also tendered video evidence where Mazi Kano was expressing the disappointment he felt with respect to the allowance of the terrorist organizations from the Sahel into Yoruba regions and into some parts of Nigeria. He tendered also conversations between Mazi Kano and other people where in a question and answer section interview, part of the interview they tendered allegedly is his interview during the NSAS protests. So those are some of the interviews, videos that they played in court, and we listened to it. The defendant, the witness has not finished giving evidence. He's most likely going to finish tomorrow. So having tendered the statements and the videos, the prosecution sought for an adjournment, which the court granted. We don't have objection to that. The court granted it. And we are hoping that by tomorrow, the interview, the examination in chief should end to give us time to now cross-examine the gentleman who came to give that evidence. So that is where we are. We thank God for everything. We're also happy with all the videos that were played. You know, we are happy with all the videos that were played. Don't worry, those videos constitute or shows a lot of things, you know, that Mazi Kano may not really be who or what the federal government thinks he is. So that is just a brief summary of all that transpired in court today.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Barrister Ejimako, could you tell us, in the light of this, what are we to expect tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow is for continuation of hearing. That continuation might include further direct examination of this very witness who was not dismissed today. They might spring as a surprise, as they did before, another witness. There might be few objections. I expect surprises to occur. But if time permits, I also expect us to begin our cross-examination of the witness who testified today to test his veracity, and to also formalize the objections we raised on the record today against some of the videos and audios that we're introducing to evidence today.
All right. Okay, we look forward to tomorrow then.
Yeah, we look forward to tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless freedom fighters all over the world.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. That was the the voices, respectively, of Barrister Ejimako and Umeh. Tomorrow is another day, Mazi. So thank you for joining us, all of whom have been with us since morning. From me, from here, it is good afternoon.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you. Yeah, that was the voice of our defense counsels, Barrister Ejimako and Nemeke Ejiofor. Just to throw some light on what transpired in court and what to be expected tomorrow. And my goodness me, and I wouldn't say much. That short video will be posted on Biafra Radio as soon as this program is shut down. And I can't thank you guys enough for sticking out with us. Today is a marathon. It's almost 3 hours plus. And thank you, Biama, for his mercy. And see what brings us tomorrow. You know, so fingers are crossed. I thank all of you for listening. And most importantly, may Chukwu Okabama continue to guide and protect and give us vision and direction. And most importantly, to fortify and to give our leader the fortitude to withhold this whole tribulation that he's going through, and his family members as well, and IPOB worldwide and Biafra at large. From me from here is good afternoon from London. Thank you.